Welcome to Season 5 of Pants Around Ankles Prevention, where my mission is to help you keep your pants securely buckled and avoid that unexpected, awkward, and embarrassing moment when you realize suddenly that they're not. This season, we're going to do things a little differently with Shorts Around Ankles Prevention. Quick, power-packed episodes designed to deliver a punch of truth to help you wake up to a new perspective. Let's see what today's short has in store. Another way to look at the same problem. 2. Again, quote Ben Franklin, many people die at 25 and aren't buried until they're 75. I've used this quote in a couple previous newsletters. Let's try it a third time. Let me start this way. Yawn. Yes, yawn. What our buddy Ben is talking about can be thought of in a different way too. We are all asleep. Oh, we're all running around extremely busy holding up umbrellas to stay dry, avoiding all the water. And that's only going to make sense to you if you read the last newsletter and are a paid subscriber. But busy requires effort, but not necessarily awareness. When we sleep at night, we lose most of our awareness of what's going on around us. We recognize that. But when our bodies are awake and our attention is distracted from who we are by what we're doing, we also have reduced awareness. We spend the day just going through the motions and bringing limited or no awareness to what we're doing. That's why many of the great spiritual teachers over the eons keep telling us that we need to wake up, that we are asleep. Our awareness is not appropriately engaged with our bodies and our intellect. It's just as if we're asleep. So the title of this issue is another way of looking at the same problem. And for me, I view a lack of awareness as most definitely a problem. Indeed, I tend to look at all the challenges I have in my life as being grounded in a lack of awareness. Surely it isn't a surprise if you're driving down the highway and fall asleep at the wheel that what happens next is not going to be a good thing. For me, it follows that when something happens that is not a good thing, it's because I was asleep. This is perhaps a deeper way of viewing one's experiences, but the shift in perspective is useful. By the way, I'm not insisting that my way of thinking about this is the only way or my way is somehow better than other viewpoints, but I do find this way of thinking useful. Now, I've shared these ideas before with others, and those that I'm thinking of have tended to resist. They adopt an approach to their interaction with me that is combative. They tend to defend how they look at things. To the degree that they stand in conflict with what I've shared here, they definitely revolt against the idea that they might be asleep. And if that applies to you, please stop listening now, because you're not going to like what I have to say next. I didn't always approach it this way, but now, when that combative spirit appears, I tend to remind myself of a saying attributed to Robert Heinlein. Never try to teach a pig to sing. It wastes your time and annoys the pig. I've learned that people don't like it if you awaken them from a deep sleep, if you shake them awake. So when the combative spirit appears, I tend to make a mental note of that and do my best to disengage. For me, though, this whole idea is freeing and stimulating. If I'm asleep, perhaps much of what I'm experiencing, perhaps all of it, is just a very real feeling dream. Wow. That adjusts my perspective, my perception, and my priorities. It also activates my awareness, which is the start of waking up. If you want to dig deeper into this with me, you might jump over to the Waking Up newsletter and subscribe, because I'm going to explore some ideas of how you can behave to make the expansion of awareness more likely. If you'd like a deeper dive into this topic, consider subscribing to our newsletter, Waking Up, where we will explore it in even more detail. And if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. See you soon.